Now I know when you did the video for Cracker, part of the reason you did it in stop motion was because of your limited budget you had. When it came time to do Magic, was that kind of the same idea, or did you really just like the whole stop motion
No,
thing?
we like the stop motion thing,
Yeah.
and then my friend Thomas Kuntz, who's a sculptor and incredible visionary as far as all that stuff goes. He came on board, so we took it one step further in the sense of I don't even remember what the budgets were, if we got more money for it or not, but basically we were able to kind of, like, as opposed to Cracker, which is a bunch of kind of chopped together toys, kind of like jerry rigged, we actually kind of created sets and created our own character design. Thomas did all the character design, which took it to a totally different level.
Right.
But the process was the same. I mean, we used digital cameras. Basically, we used I think on the first one we used a fisheye lens and a 3.1 megapixel Canon Coolpix, doing it and just snapping pictures. But then Bill, would take that and process it in a way. He had developed something where he was doing motion blur between things to create a bit more of a. It wouldn't have looked quite the same without obviously his attention.
Okay. Now, with Ogre, you've been working with Mark Walk, but it seems like he rarely, if ever, plays live. What part does he play in the whole process of writing, recording, everything?
Well, I mean, Mark's he's a composer, he's a producer, he's an amazing songwriter, and an amazing instrumentalist. I mean, he's a multi-instrumentalist, and he has an amazing ability to put things together. And so when I come to him with ideas, he takes those ideas and takes them to the next level in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of things you hear on both Skinny Puppy and Ogre. I mean, Kevin was obviously very interested in Mark's production styles and his things that are those flourishes, those moments, and that's what a good producer does. Is that I've always been somebody that can come up with basic ideas. I'm not a super great programmer, but I can get ideas down. And I've always had to work with people. I've always worked with people, and it's the way that I work. And Mark's been a very good friend of mine since the process. We met on that record, and we became very close friends. And now he lives about half an hour from me, and so it's just something that we've developed. You like develop relationships much in the same way as we all do, and those relationships are what kind of make and break a project in a lot of ways, from what I can see. And the devil's in my details couldn't have been done unless I had Mark, because Mark went through this event in my life that was very profound, and he was able to kind of parlay it in his way as well, because we're so emotional. We're the same. We're very empathic, and we're very tied to each other in a lot of ways, and in a good way. So there's like an amazing working relationship that I haven't had with really anybody else. I have to say anybody in my career. I had a really good working relationship with Rave. I met him back up in Vancouver again, and would hope to do some stuff with him again now that we've kind of reconnected. But Mark's somebody who's always been extremely non-judgmental and very, very down to earth, and very open to exploring a lot of stuff. And I think again getting back to my own whether it's neurosis or whatever it is, I still deal with a lot of insecurity when it comes to. Less now than ever, but as each project goes on, I think this record put me into a new place. But I still have to have somebody that I can bounce things off of, and it has to be somebody that isn't just somebody you would hire and tell them and get pissed off at them or whatever, or order them around. Or
right.
It's a different vibe for me, and in a lot of ways, I think music. When I first started doing this and I toured with certain bands, I just saw that kind of. Need to put people down and control people, and that's just never my thing. I react a lot to shit. I react to a lot of whatever, but I never really try and fuck people over or use them, or it's never been that kind of a relationship. So Mark and our relationship on these records has been really special for me, and it goes way beyond it goes way beyond just the actual the technical side of it. It goes more into a very kind of creative collaboration that we both enjoy.
Okay. Now, last month you played Vancouver for the first time since you were there with Pigface in '92.
I actually don't think I played with Pigface in '92.
No?
No, but But everybody keeps saying that.
Bad information all over there.
And I don't remember it, so maybe it happened, but I don't think so.
Well, anyway, you were there playing for the first time in a long time. How was that?
It was incredible.
Was it was Vancouver anything like you remember it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a lot of ways, and in a lot of ways, it's very much the same. It's kind of a dark city in a really cool way. I really like being there. I walked all the streets that I used to walk and ride my bike, and again, I went and saw a rave down at a studio that was right near the club we were playing, and it's changed quite a bit. But the audience was amazing, and I had a really good time going up there. So I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Now, in closing. In an interview 5 years ago, you said that the way bands make money was through touring. Now, have you heard that some of the major labels want to
360 deals?
Yeah, do 360 deals, and
See, I knew your question.
Yeah.
Well, the odd thing about that I find ironic is that when we signed to Network for 7 records, that eventually were distributed by Capitol Records during a very good creative time for us. The one downside about that deal was that Terry McBride, who was the president of Network Records, who is the altruistic kingpin of looking after artist rights, basically had a hat that flipped, and he had our merchandising, he had our publishing, he had our records, and he did our touring. And to me, it was just one of the most disgusting kind of deals, because it's basically things are being cross-collateralized. I don't know if you know what that means, but it means that so if we were making money on the records, but we lost in touring, and we went out and lost, they would take money from our records and cross-collateralize that against our losses again. So we were just getting basically screwed up the yin, and you're seeing that coming around again now, because a lot of labels didn't really have the whatever it was to really be ahead of the curve and figure out what was going on with their businesses. And you see them struggling now. So yes, what they're doing now is they're for a lot of young bands is that they want a piece of their touring, they want a piece of their merchandise, they want a piece of their publishing, they want a piece of everything. And yet the deals are coming, they're 50-50 deals. So you're getting whether it works out, I don't know. I mean, I've never done a 360 deal. I've done things like that for tour support, but it's more like giving them something instead of taking tour support and having it taken off your royalties or off of your mechanicals, and not your mechanicals as they can, but off your royalties. You'll give them 2 t-shirt designs. We gave them, in this case, we gave them 2 t-shirt designs for some tour support that they can sell in Europe and not here. So it's not a bad thing, but I'm in kind of a different position because I'm dealing with these people while they're trying to figure this out, and we're coming to them with ideas on marketing ideas because we've been doing this so fucking long. And they don't really have, not that they don't have a clue, but I can see that there's that desperation in a lot of labels as to, how do we make this work, because the days of wine and roses are gone for them.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, but it's also the bad thing is that culturally, we're all socially inept to understand what good music is, and we kind of have to. There's a real. I noticed it with repo. I noticed it with anything. Is there's still a real preoccupation with people going to see or hearing anything that if it doesn't come with a major ad campaign and doesn't have a lot of money behind it, it's somehow bad.
Yeah.
You see it with movies way more than music, but even with music, I noticed even with this, people were kind of going, well, SPV really hasn't put much into it, so it kind of must not be a very good record.
Yeah, if you don't see advertising for it, it can't be important, right?
Exactly. So, I think that's the one thing that needs to be kind of, either circumvented or figured out, and I don't know what the answer is for that, but yeah, I think it would be tough to be a band, starting out in this day and age, and I have a lot of again, but it goes back to when we started out, it's the same thing, but we just signed a stupid deal.
Yeah.
And in this case, a lot of bands don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And with that, ta-da!
Close.